we have this jewel, this place here that's this little town that everybody loves, right? And it kind of gets overlooked that we're pretty lucky that we have this.
You know, all of us were fortunate enough to discover St. Michael's 10, 20, however many years ago. It feels to me that the people in power now, it's like they want to deprive, it's like, why, just because we were fortunate enough to find St. Michael's years ago, why should we deprive others of getting to find and experience St. Michael's as it was when we found it? You know, there's been live music. Foxy's turned 20 last year. I know for a fact there's been live music outside for at least 20 years. You know, and they want to silence that now?
I don't feel like there's a vision for where we're going right now. And they've sent signals that basically said, okay, we're going to cut your marketing budget for the town. Okay, what does that mean? And what is that saying? What does that say about what your plans are? They said, well, the businesses are doing fine. They're doing great. How are you judging that? Where is that coming from? There's a lot of assumptions going on, I believe. There's not much communication towards us. We've gone to meetings at 6 o'clock. We've, you know, left our businesses to go when they have their meetings. But I wouldn't call them grievances as much as we don't know where you're taking us. You're driving this cruise ship and we don't know the destination. You've made it very clear that other than the 4 Ps, which are very generalized philosophical ideas, that we don't even know when our trash is getting picked up, do we, next year? Yeah. There's not a lot of clarity about who to talk to and why and how. Yeah, okay. Nobody's saying this is what we envision. Nobody is saying clearly what the vision is. But the signals are, we're going to cut marketing. We're going to make it harder to park here. We're going to make it harder to dump your trash, and we're not going to tell you, well, you may get fees or not. And it's not about how much money these things are. It's all these little things that they're throwing out there. They call them like dog whistles or whatever. They're beyond dog whistles. They're indications that you know, they're not happy with something either the businesses are doing or not.
It's the proposed business license that they want every, not just restaurants, but every business in town to have to acquire. They said all the small towns around have them, and one of our members of the association is a state delegate, and he did research. The closest town is Berlin that requires a business license. The concern with a business license for me is I feel like it's a very slippery slope. We already have you know, licenses that we acquire through the county, our health department, and our liquor licenses. The slippery slope then is, say, the owner of the brewery goes to renew his business license and they say, you know, we've actually had 4 noise complaints generated by your business this year, so we're not going to renew your license. Who's to say they're not going to go that route, you know? And they want to have access to the buildings. They want access to a federally licensed distillery. Like, no, you can't enter places without, you know, someone there to watch what you're doing. There's no, you know, if there's a fire, break in the door, break a window. We're all okay with that, you know, if no one's there. The restaurants in St. Michael's are major stakeholders, you know, as far as, and you would think they would want our input on how to move in whatever new direction or in what the direction should be. You know? All of this is at a time that we are still struggling. Yeah. I mean, we are, as restaurateurs. Someone asked us the other day, you know, what's your pool? What's your employee pool? Where do you select from? And we just busted out laughing. I mean, it was like, well, yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Half of these restaurants are closed additional days. We are, because of staffing. You know, we cut out our brunch service. We're closed 2 days a week instead of 1. That's every restaurant in town has had to make those changes. We are still recovering. I mean, I guess I would like to remain optimistic that some form of communication would start.
And the bubble that they're operating says we're striking a balance between the residents and the business. I don't know what that means. I think they can be symbiotic. I think they don't have to be 2 separate things. They can be symbiotic. There can be